What's up, you guys? It's your girl Kizzy, and I'm back with another video. So in this video, I really just want to talk about right now and how important it is to trust the process. I know that what is taking place in your life may be very uncomfortable. It may be very new to you and new for you, and it may be very unknown, right? And you're not going to know everything, and you're not going to know how to navigate through it all, and you're going to have to be open to learning along the way, and you're going to have to be open to unknowing what you thought you knew, right? Like, you may think, oh, I knew this was that, or this is supposed to be like that, and what you're going to realize right now is that, in fact, it's not what you knew, right? Or maybe it was what you knew when you thought you knew it, but now it's sort of transforming into something different, into something else, right? Which is ultimately teaching you and allowing you to expand, right? And so I was watching a reading yesterday, and somebody said, it's really time to be open to being not just a teacher, not just a leader, right? But also a learner. And, in that, it's like being open to different perspectives and being open to doing new shit, right? Trying things you haven't tried before, doing things you haven't done, saying things you haven't said, standing in your truth, speaking your truth, owning who you are, understanding who you are, or at least who you want to be, and opening yourself up to reach that destination. And so I know, like, in my own life, there has been for a long time this crumbling of what I thought I knew, right? And what used to be so real and so valid and true for me. But it's like now, new doorways are opening up and new perspectives. The option to embrace a new perspective is being opened up to me, and I'm in a space of, okay, well, am I going to be stubborn, right? And want to stay in my own ways and feel like I know what's best and I can't learn anything else and I can't expand more and I, am in control of this and things need to go my way, right? Or am I going to be open to the fact that, like, I can improve, right? I can still expand. I can still learn. And it's not to say that, my God, freaking bee. It's not to say that anything's wrong with who I am right now, right? Or how I'm doing things right now, but it's like there's always more to learn, right? There's always ways that you can improve your situation, which incorporate less rigidity and more flow, right? Less rigidity and more flexibility. And so right now, it's really a time to be open and be patient. Remember patience and trust the process, because yes, it is not simple, right? And things may not go your way or how you envision them to go, or they may not be how you envisioned them to be or wanted them to be. But that doesn't mean that something better and more beneficial and more aligned for you and what you actually want, even if you believe what you want is what you want, it doesn't mean that there isn't a better path to what it is that you actually want and need, right? And it doesn't mean that it is not more beneficial for you as a whole. And I think, it's really uncomfortable because it's change, it's different, and stepping into shit that you don't know, right? So you're not going to be able to be like, oh yeah, I know this, I know that, I'm on that, I got this, I heard that, I read that. No, you're going to be like, oh, I don't really know what to do here. Oh, like, that's what it is. Or, oh, I could see it that way. Or, oh, like, I could do that, right? You're going to really need to open yourself up to more options. And look at that wind. That is the winds of change, baby. That is the winds of change. It's all happening right before our eyes. And so, right now is really a time to open your heart and release, heavy on the releasing, because I know a lot of us have stored a lot of shit up for a long time. And when you believe things to be a certain way for a long time and then you realize they're not actually that way, well, that inevitably causes a tower moment, which is a realization, a crumbling of what you thought you knew, right? And that's where we have to release that attachment to what that was and detach from that and be open to expansion and be open to seeing things in ways that we maybe were stubborn to see them before, or were pushing against before, because now is the time to be vulnerable and be willing to open up and embrace change, really, honestly. And so, you know, I feel like this journey is, and your journey, right, in your process is not something that everybody's going to understand. It's not something that everybody has understood, and that's okay, right? You don't need everybody to understand. You don't need everybody to agree. And that's what I'm learning now too, of like how to stand in my truth, right? And what's true for me, and knowing that I don't need XYZ to feel how I feel in order for me to be true, right? In order for my truth to be my truth, in order for my truth to be valid, to be right, to be okay, right? And I found myself fighting against other people, and I'm realizing that I've been fighting against other people in the fact of like, I feel like, well, if XYZ doesn't say my truth is right, if I say, oh, you did this to me, or you were doing that, or you're that, and they're like, well, I don't see it that way, or they don't experience that way, well, I can't force them or fight with them to agree with what I agree with, right? I have to come back to me, and that's the whole point of the evolution, right? Coming back to you and standing in you and honoring you, right? And so I'm having to really step into my truth despite what anybody else thinks, says, or believes, because what is true for me is true for me. What I experience and what I feel is true for me. What I feel, what I felt, what I experienced is real for me. And that is what is important here. It is what is real for you. What is true for you? What matters to you? What do you believe? What did you experience? Because in reality, like my mom told me yesterday, you know, everybody's not going to agree with you, right? And she said that she feels like I get frustrated when people don't agree with my truth. And it's like, I do, actually. And I do have this want to be right. But again, it's not about being right. And it's not about them needing to approve of, right, or accept or agree with my truth in order for my truth to be right, in order for my truth to be okay, in order for my truth to be valid, right? It's still valid whether nobody agrees with it or not, right? It's okay for me to stand alone, right? It's okay for me to know what I know and not back down from it just because somebody says XYZ, and it doesn't make my truth any less, right? It doesn't make it invalid, it doesn't make it wrong, and same for you, right? If nobody else agrees with your story or what happened or what you experienced or what you said or whatever the case may be, that's okay, right? And maybe one day they'll come around, maybe one day they won't, but it's not your job to wait around, is the point. It's your job to focus on you. It's your job to change your perspective. It's your job to be open to change. It's your job to be open to being flexible, right? And being teachable, because yeah, you want to be right. Yeah, you want people to validate you, but at the end of the day, if they're not going to validate you, they're not going to validate you, right? And you can't have these, it's unhealthy to have these unrealistic expectations of I'm expecting them to validate my truth. You can't expect people who have already invalidated you or who have already said that they don't agree with you to suddenly agree with you just because you're having the conversation again, or just because you feel so sure about what you know and what you feel. That's unrealistic, and that's not going to work out for you. And so the point is, again, what is your perspective? What is your perception? Who are you giving the power to? What are you placing power in, right, in your life at this time? Because you hold the power, and that's what I'm realizing. I hold the power. And the more that I'm like, oh, I need this person to say XYZ, cutie, I need this person to say XYZ before I do ABC, well, it's like, I'll be waiting around forever, right? You're waiting for other people to change. You'll be waiting around forever. It's about you making the changes, you taking the steps, you changing the narrative, you releasing the pain and transmuting and transforming it into something that works for you. So, you know, what I got today from my affirmation cards, they're not affirmation cards, but like they're messages on index cards, like my affirmations, was from what I can remember, it was stretch, it was heart chakra, it was healing frequencies, it was speak your truth, it was embrace your uniqueness, it was trust the process. And so basically that falls into exactly what I'm saying, right? You got to open your heart and be willing to see shit differently, be willing to move differently, and also be willing to see things through love, right? Because yes, they hurt you, yes, they betrayed you, yes, they might have lied, yes, they did this, yes, they did that. Nobody's denying it, right? But the more we harbor onto that with hate and resistance to, okay, well, I can't do this unless they do this, you're going to be holding on to it forever, right? And so it's really time again to open that heart chakra, to release, to listen to those healing frequencies, to get aligned, right? To soothe your mind so you can think clearly, right? To be in solitude, to stretch, to release some energy, to get some movement in, right? It don't have to be stretching, but move your body, right? Dance a little bit, right? Do meditation, do some yoga, whatever works for you. What else is on there? Healing frequencies, trust the process, right? Trust the process, like I said in the beginning. Embrace your uniqueness. And again, that goes with your story and your truth. What is true for you, right? Who are you, right? What is true for you? Oh yeah, well, people are hating on you, right? People have hated on me because I'm unique. It doesn't make my uniqueness bad. It just means I'm unique, which I need to embrace, right? Which is my truth. And again, that could be in my truth, right? My truth is unique. Nobody really agrees with it, or everybody may not agree with it, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just unique, right? It's different, and that's okay. It's okay to be different, right? It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's not defective. It's not ill. You're just who you are, and that's just it. Just period. Just period. And what else was on there? Oh, speak your truth. Right. So if you feel like at this time you need to say something, you got to get something off your chest, say that shit with your whole chest. With your whole chest, say it. And it doesn't have to be disrespectful, right? It doesn't have to be reactive. But if you feel it, you need to say it. You need to release it. You need to let it go. You need to have a conversation. You need to say what you need to say. Just need to say it. Do that. Do that. Do that. Do that. And I'll be it. Yeah. And be that. Okay? So I love you. I will see you in my next video. Stay blessed. I was gonna say stay stressed. Don't stay stressed. Stay not stressed. And stay blessed. Love you. Bye.